What's up, guys? Welcome to another exciting edition of Real Estate Podcast, episode 310. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
We're building one hellacious scaffolding with Adam.
Little Tower to Babel.
Yeah, right. Inside, baby.
Inside. Yeah, not to be confused with the Bo Burnham.
Yeah.
But
Wasn't
sure
there a
you
Disney movie called Inside?
I think so. Animated, right?
Yeah. Not that.
Yeah.
Definitely not that.
I mean, I want to come right out and say it. Despite the questions that the movie may leave unanswered or inconsistencies, I guess, this movie was so engaging to me right now that so far this has been the film of the year for me.
I mean, I agree. Like, okay, there's some. I love the way that it was shot. I love the way that it looked, and I love William Dafoe's performance. Like, this dude
He
is
acted
a
his ass off,
fucking.
though.
He is so good in literally everything he does, and he's a solo man.
Yeah.
There
that's
is
hard to
nobody
pull
else.
off.
Yeah, and he sold it 110%.
Yeah.
He knocked this shit out of the park. You know?
Dude, when it went off,
Mhm.
my grandfather was like, that was weird. He's like, but his acting was really good, wasn't it? I was like, it was. Like,
Yeah.
even though he really didn't dig,
Yeah,
you know, he was just over there getting bored. He's like, is something? He's like, how much is left?
yeah,
I'm like, another
Wow.
hour? And he's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, it's going to be a long time before, because he knew
yeah.
we're in this for the long haul. Like,
Yeah,
and I knew it. I was like, if anything happens,
yeah.
I was like, I don't know how this is going to end. Like,
It was. I like how they get right into it. I do like that a lot. They wasted no time getting him in this situation. Now, like, how much time do you guys think passed?
well, at one point, it's the 4th of July,
Yeah,
and then
it's
next it's snowing.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know
You
what the
think he
weather's
was in
like
there
in
for
New
a-
York, but
I think it starts. I mean, it snows. I don't know,
I
but
mean, he's in there for a while just from looking at him.
yeah. I
Um,
mean, do you think it was a year? You think he held out that long in there?
well,
I don't know if
here's
he had
what's
no food to go a year.
Well, here's what's insane, man. Or one of my questions. First off, how is a security alarm going to go off twice with no responses?
Well, he clipped it.
Well, I know, but
The guy that did that
it
because
was
the phone
still-
didn't work.
Well, there was still
Yeah, you'd
enough
also think
time.
somebody would hear that.
Yeah,
The sprinkler system when he tried to trigger the water thing.
Yeah.
yeah,
You figured that would have been building. Like, there's
The phone
like
line
a
had
lot
been
of things. A lot of things that feel like they like. I almost wonder if that building was meant to be a cage. Outside
Well-
of the metaphor that he uses at the end, because I mean, clearly that artist was not living in that fucking house.
right.
Well,
I
it
mean,
turned
he- I
out to
mean-
be an art installation by the end of it. It was like,
Yeah,
dude's going to come home and be like, that's his work of art now. He
yeah,
fucked this dude up into making this like caveman art,
yeah.
which looked cool, by the way.
It did.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, when he was worshiping the bolts from the skylight.
yeah.
Whenever he was putting those on there, my grandfather was like, oh, he's nuts. And I was like, worshiping the bolt god. He's
Yeah, yeah, right.
at one point he had that headdress.
Yeah, I
He was
know,
like,
right?
I mean, dude,
I thought
going
he was gonna
mad.
thought he was going to storm the Capitol or something with that thing on. You know,
I did like his art that he built. And
yeah,
it was like a little Tower of Babel to get at, like,
yeah,
to leave this apartment, like,
Well, to get it back out into the light,
yeah.
which I mean, I wasn't even thinking about Babel, but now that you've mentioned it, like it clicked the light bulb for me, man.
Yeah.
I felt I felt so relieved for him when the damn sprinkler systems for the plants cut on.
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I was thirsty. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
parched
with
over
my
here.
water.
Like,
yeah.
Oh man,
Him
I-
shitting in
heat,
that
dude.
bathtub.
Oh.
That was hard to be a god, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah.
Well, you know that toilet was stinking, but
Oh
for
yeah.
sure that
Well,
tub was.
It's Willem Dafoe, so it was hard to be a gob. Yeah.
Spider Man. No, I really liked it a lot, but there was like the whole idea of like I wish that he would have delved a little deeper into his own, and they did it by showing, of course, like the drawings that he did and all that kind of stuff. But I would have really enjoyed like him kind of like devolving a little bit more into like his own experience with art, other than like
Still in
that.
it.
That's yeah. Other than
Yeah.
that saying, it's like if I, if your house is on fire, what are you going to
Yeah.
take? And he's like the cat, the AC/DC album, and the
Oh
sketchbook.
yeah. Well, that would have made for a really cool scene when he's creating that scaffolding. Like have scenes where he's putting shit together.
Yeah.
Let him narrate over that. Like when I was
Yeah.
16, I drew my first portrait.
Yeah.
Go on. Say some crazy story with that, or when I
Yeah.
was 21, I tried to do this. Like just gaps of time filling in why he became the art thief.
Yeah. I think that would have added a little bit more to it, in my opinion, because it's like his association with art, other than him saying that, is more or less like the monetary value of it.
They
And
said
it's like,
art's for keeps.
yeah,
And if we now I'm gonna be riding this Babel wave now. So
Yeah. I mean,
um
even the way
in
it
a way,
looked.
well in a
Like-
way, did him with the art that he did, and then him climbing up out of the skylight there,
Not so hard
was
to be
that
God.
was that somewhat metaphorical to him achieving immortality?
Well, what did he say? I'm going to heaven over the hillside. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah,
And
that
he
was
was chanting
creepy.
that as he was putting the last bolt down and climbing up there.
yeah,
That was
And I
that
was
was
like,
creepy
he's gonna
to
jump
me.
off the fucking roof.
yeah.
I mean, he's fucked.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah,
Like mad.
yeah,
I would have ate the dog food before I ate the fish.
for sure. Yeah,
I was like, these are some rich people. That's probably some high quality dog food.
yeah, yeah. It's definitely better than like a can of fucking
Yeah.
tuna, But
Oh, I mean, and classic foreshadowing on that fish. The minute they showed that he had limited supplies and it kept showing like
Yeah, you're
the
looking at
fish
him.
tank, I was like, yeah,
Yeah, I was like, I
he's
don't think
gonna
you drink that.
he's gonna be eating Dora by the time this is over with.
yeah,
Look at us, just a couple of pigeons.
yeah, I know. He's like, I want you to go down to 31st Street. I want you to. I was like, oh god,
Will you do
That's
that
what-
for me?
Yeah,
Like,
will
whoa,
you
he's
do it?
fucked.
Yeah, yeah,
He's doing the chicken monologue.
yeah,
And yeah, there were absolutely moments that you would consider as slow in this film,
yeah,
but Defoe's performance
man.
keeps the pacing. Like when it was over, I was almost like, is that it? Like I was ready for a whole other hour of shit to go down.
When
Yeah.
those sprinklers kicked on and he was fucking listening to the fucking Macarena, like
yeah,
having a
Oh,
good time.
when he finally keeps the door open, and
Yeah,
starts the
he's
whole
just
fucking
walking around
song
singing.
playing.
It's like, yeah, party tonight.
yeah.
The heat
Well, it
went
made me-
off. That
it
would
made me
that would
think
make me
of-
kill myself.
Yeah,
105 degrees in there.
105, Yeah, fuck that.
So hot, too
dude.
hot to breathe.
Yeah,
Well, little small nuances that Defoe would do, like when he would be like either taking the water to splash on his face and neck and stuff, and he realized he's still got that thing on, so he just throws it in the pool, whatever.
Yeah, the metal.
Or or even like it was to me, it was always those little things he'd grunt whenever he would when something would happen, like. If he was watching the security cams, he'd
Yeah.
see that woman. He'd be like, "Fuck, where you going? What the hell, man?" Like little shit
What's her
that you
name?
would
Jasmine or something? What was it?
yeah.
like stuff you
funny.
talk to yourself like
Well,
there's
dude, he had
not
a whole show developed around these people.
Yeah,
Like real people doing. He's like talking for them.
yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, those little minute those little nuances and just like the character felt like a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Because like because I mean, we've all had moments where we'd either be sitting at our computer or anywhere for that matter, and like the TV remote slips onto the floor, and you're like, shit, you
Yeah.
gotta lean forward, and you know what I mean, like
God damn. Oh yeah.
yeah, little things like that, and he does it a lot in this movie,
Yeah.
and I don't know, it kind of helped. It helped that performance along rather than he only spoke when there was a line to speak.
Yeah.
Because
Oh yeah.
a lot of movies, you know, they stick to the paper, you know, like this is what your character says in scene 38, act 2 or whatever.
Yeah. No, it was insane. And I really, I guess what I was kind of hoping by the end of it was that the person would come home,
Yeah.
or
I did kind of
there
want that
would,
to happen.
yeah,
Yeah.
or there would be a sequence where whenever he crawled through the skylight,
Oh,
either one of two things: the dude comes home and then he's like, "What the fuck?" and then he starts looking at everything and he's like, "Oh shit, okay," or a final, like, I know that he had just had one right before that, but a final, like, monologue where it showed all of the quote unquote art pieces that he had created inside of the apartment. And it's like just like a collage, or whatever of that, where you see the tower and then you see the wall and you
Yeah.
see the shrine and you see all of these things that he had done while he was there. And it's like, and then him basically comparing his genius with insanity. And it's like, who makes better art, a genius
Yeah.
or an insane person? Like, and kind of lean more into that. Cause it's like the person that wrote and directed this wanted to make an art film about art, but started shying away from that artistic outlook when they should have leaned full into it, in my opinion. And that's the biggest thing that I kind of had a problem with. It's like they should have went full art house with it in a way to where it's like it leans so heavily into it that it's a piece of art when it's done,
Yeah.
oh
But that
yeah,
that
I would have liked some sort of resolve from the homeowner as well. Like, I think I still just think it was really odd that he went so long in there.
Well, it's almost like it was
Eh,
on purpose.
yeah.
It really
Yeah,
felt that way.
yeah, that was exactly what I was thinking throughout most of the movie. I'm like, man, we're gonna get this reveal, kind of what you guys have said earlier. We're like, maybe somebody shows up and they're like, I'm an artist, but this is you
Yeah.
helped me create my magnum opus, and and it's
Like you were my brush. It's like you
Yeah.
yeah,
fucking drove me
yeah.
crazy. Turned
Yeah.
the heat on, made it cold.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy whenever he went into the speech at the end. I
Yeah.
liked how it rounded out with him writing that message on the wall, and he's like, you know, I've kept 3 things perfectly untouched for you.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, I believe there were the 3 paintings he was in there to steal. I think he left them alone,
Yeah, the portrait, the $3 million one. Well, he
Yeah.
also
which
made them
are
part of his thing.
Yeah.
He
yeah,
had them like sitting there, the pillow with bolts,
Yeah.
like a little altar. It was weird.
an altar.
Mhm.
I'm not as good at that shit as Griffin is, but
But yeah, I would have liked to have seen something like that, and I think that there could have been room for something like that to happen. It's just like I would really wish that they would have leaned a little bit more heavily into it, but it didn't take away from it by any stretch of the imagination with them not doing it. It's just like hindsight's always 2020. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And to me, that's what I would have done if I was creating this, because I mean, it was set up perfectly to be like this art film about art and about the difference between like a genius and an insanity and all this. Like there was a lot of like things that they could have kind of roped into this, and
Well,
uh
in keeping with the art thing, didn't he? Did like wasn't he more or less forced into a Van Gogh
Yeah.
situation? Didn't
Yeah.
Van Gogh become a shut-in?
Yeah, I think so, right?
Like, I don't. I mean, I'm probably wrong. I've only
I'm pretty sure they said he was nuts.
Yeah.
like I know he went. I know. We all know the classic. Like he went
Died
crazy over
poor.
a woman and cut his ear off and shit. But I want to say there's a level of recklessness to it. Like he just was like fuck everything and walled himself off and
Well,
just
when he was
painted till he
alive,
died.
his paintings didn't make nothing,
Yeah.
Mhm.
until later on. He was
Yeah.
a failed artist at the time.
Yeah.
As all artists usually are.
Yeah. It's almost like, imagine if the writer director would have taken the house that Jack built approach to this. That's where my head's at with it. You know, those sequences where he's talking about the noble rot and he's talking about all these things, and it's just so wordy and
Yeah.
pretentious and all this kind of stuff. It
Yeah.
would have been great to have a little bit of that sprinkled in there.
I
Oh,
thought that was going to
absolutely.
happen when he brought. Was that like a satanic Bible or something?
Dude, I don't know what
I
the
mean, I
fuck was
thought that was
happening.
about to. I was like, oh, this makes sense.
Yeah,
I
right.
believe that was one of the things he saved.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
the whole layout of that house was sinister.
Well, dude,
Like
I,
it was dark in and of itself.
Yeah.
Considering he had the self portrait stashed away in probably the creepiest way to stash something,
yeah,
like behind something down a corridor, like if it's something you're trying to hide, why all the
Yeah.
ominous theatrics here, you know?
yeah. Well, and that to me, speaking of the layout of this house, I love how you spend the entire movie in this house. But if you ask me to draw the floor plan for this place, I don't know where the fuck to start.
Yeah,
Right.
because there was really no like.
That was a crazy set of stairs going up
Yeah,
to that loft.
yeah. Because like when you're in rooms, it
Yeah.
didn't show you the other doorways going in or out of it.
Yeah.
So you had no idea how all these rooms connected with one another. Like you knew the kitchen and I guess like the living room, main room was one giant room with the trees and all that kind of stuff. But the bedrooms, all the other little rooms, all the other little nooks and places, you never saw the doorways. So in your head, you had no way to build this floor plan out in your head, which makes it even more claustrophobic than it actually was. You know,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
it was a great decision on the director and cinematographer's part to keep that.
Well, it
Uh,
added a small level of disorientation to the movie
ye- yes,
because
yes,
because by the time by the time that disorientation used by Defoe as like him kind of succumbing to madness, by the time it gets to that point in the movie, you've been sitting with that gut feeling for so long that when it finally hits, you're like, oh my god, this is horrible.
yeah,
Like when it does the layout of like, I guess I guess we'll call it the if you only knew how bad things really were shot,
yeah,
because it shows like the dried up pool with shit in it where he's been using the bathroom the whole time. You see the dead areas where he's cut up the fucking animals where the bird's dead, where he's just thrown shit everywhere. You see where all that's just slowly just like piled up,
yeah.
because it makes you wonder too. Like I don't know. I love the play with time there. Like you don't know how long he was in
Well,
that
and that
building.
remember when it was when he set the sprinkler off,
Hmm.
Yeah,
and you see the sign that was lit up, all the
yeah, and
time
then
that
it
will
flickers
come after
out.
this moment, and then all the time part goes away,
Yeah,
and it just says after this moment.
yeah,
So it's like, oh, I guess was there no more time after that? I mean,
yeah, exactly right. And did you think that whenever he flooded it, it was going to freeze?
I was like, I don't think it's gonna turn off. Goddamn, like
I know, right?
it just kept
Right.
going. But I was
Yeah.
thinking, I was like, oh no, it's cold in there now. Like
He's gonna get fucking pneumonia. Like God.
his legs fucked up.
Yeah.
I knew he was gonna get hurt on that thing, but I thought that thing was gonna hit him in the head. I was like, when he removes that bolt,
Yeah, it's gonna
that big
come
motherfucker's gonna
tumbling
come
down.
tumbling.
Well,
Yeah,
I was thinking the same. But
yeah. I was like, that's
I
gonna
was
knock his ass out.
honestly, I was thinking that moment was gonna be okay. He's gonna take the great fall. He's gonna get hurt. He's gonna get knocked out, and then we're gonna get a cut where he's sitting somewhere, and then this dude that was when I was thinking we might get some sort of reveal of like, yeah, you came to steal my art, buddy, but I got so much more from you than you
Yeah.
could have ever gotten from me, or some
You've been a
crazy
great
shit like that.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Get away from me, you
Yeah.
creepy bastard.
Yeah. It was well done, and I enjoyed it a ton. Like I said, there was a couple of things, like not in relation to like the movie and how it was and everything, but there's a couple of things that I would have opted to do differently if I was writing the story. But the vision came full circle. Like it was great the way that it was. Well paced, in my opinion. Like it was slow, but like I feel like those slow moments existed to show you that time was passing.
And something I noticed as well, the times that it would get slow would be after moments where he would have a breakthrough or a really bad stroke of luck, like
Yeah.
or misfortune actually.
Yeah.
And it would almost be like there would be moments in the film where when it would slow down like that, that you yourself are contemplating all the things he's contemplating. Like you're
Yeah.
right there, you're in the house with him. And I mean, maybe it's a slip on trying to make it a more immersive experience. I don't know. But I think, I'm right there with you though. There's things that I would have loved more of or to have seen fleshed out, maybe not necessarily wrote differently.
Yeah.
But if we had just maybe another 30 minutes to an hour of runtime and we could have gotten more, I definitely would have liked, or I would have wrote more inner monologue for Dafoe.
Yeah.
That much, absolutely. I would, because I mean, hell, you've got someone who can deliver lines in a very fucking badass. Like he's good. He's good at fucking delving out monologue. I mean, you need not look any further than his performance in The Lighthouse.
Yeah.
So you can give this fucker a page of lines and he'll fucking nail it.
Yeah.
And for him to go into some crazy concepts or theories or like just his inner thoughts of the world,
Yeah.
would have been like, I want to know more about the character, which I guess lends to how good he performed it. Like you want to know this guy more.
Right.
Because what was it? The three things. It was
That he saved
yeah, it was
his cat, the
his cat
AC/DC album.
and his sketchbook. Yeah, like right
I
off
wonder
the
what-
bat, I'm like, this kind of dude I might hang out
Yeah,
with.
he's like, I loaned it out to a guy named Cujo.
Yeah. And I'm over here like, which album? Was
Yeah.
it like High Voltage? Because like he shouldn't have never loaned that shit out. I'm just saying, like at all. It's a fucking great album right there. But yeah, I'm gonna give it a star.
It was Highway to Hell.
Well, even Highway to Hell shouldn't have been loaned out. Like
Well, of course, but I'm thinking it was Highway to Hell just because of the movie, but because of what the dialogue.
Yeah. I'm giving it a star. I enjoyed it. I would have done things a little bit differently with the wrap up towards the end, but all in all, it's something that I definitely won't watch again soon, but I will watch again at some point because it was just so It's just it's I love those films where it's like everything takes place in one location and you see someone's kind of descent into madness. And I mean, who better to do that than Defoe?
Agreed.
Yeah, dude. When you see his
I
body at
think
the end,
Yeah.
when he does the Christian Bell thing, he's like, do the bell
Yeah.
shot. He's like, "Ugh," bends over,
Yeah.
you know?
the bell shot, that's fucking hilarious.
Full star.
I think, yeah. Sorry, Adam. I didn't.
No, that's
Beautiful.
I
It's
was just
great.
gonna, I was just gonna say, I think this movie, if we're gonna have a mixed shelf, I know we're particular with our shelves in the real estate movie room, but
yeah.
I would say if we had a mixed shelf,
Like,
I would put this on there with. I would put this between. Oddly enough, I would put it between The House That Jack Built and Bronson.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think Willem Dafoe deserves his own shelf at this point.
Oh, I mean that. I mean, of course.
We've got a
Well,
picture of that picture of him from Boondock Saints, all
well,
flamboyant as fuck.
well. I mean, while you
I was telling my
were
grandfather, I
away,
was like, we got to watch this movie. You ain't never seen it?
while you guys were away, though, I bought an extra copy of all of our movies to make on the mix shelf. So organization's still there.
Yeah.
One of these days, we're gonna have to get a shot for the listeners to show them what the real estate movie room looks like because it's impressive.
It's that video of that fucking Death Star
Like you want to talk about
theater.
art? You want to talk about art? We're not. We're all in this. We're all in the movie room. We're just so far away from each other that we're like
Yeah.
in another building.
It's a big table.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of DVDs. You ain't even seen the old VHS warehouse.
Oh, that's a different room.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
humble
musty in
beginnings.
there though.
Yeah,
you
there's
know?
a smell.
Yeah.
There-
There's that
there's-
plastic VHS smell in there.
I think I put some mothballs out 2 years ago, maybe. No, but I give this a full star. I'm kind of with you, Griffin. I love these types of movies. These are movies that are up my alley, like big time. So I feel like there's some bias to it. But I think part of this particular these types of movies is that they're not. You know, I won't come back to it for a while, but I will.
Yeah.
But I think that like even though we've all watched it in our respective times and stuff here, we're still gonna be chewing on this movie for a while.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's one of them that every now and then you're probably gonna think about it.
Dude, I still think about the fucking house that Jack built.
Oh, dude.
That's
dude.
never leaving the brain, dude.
No, man. And what's crazy is it's not even the death stuff. One of the scenes from the house that Jack built that sticks to my brain to this day is that scene where you hear Virgil go, what? He goes, what do you think you are? You fashion yourself some sort of architect? And he's just standing there with blood on his face, and you just hear Matt Damon, or not Damon, but Matt Dillon voiceover goes, as a matter of fact, I am. And you're just like, because it's just a level of like, not only am I psychotic, but I'm a master of my domain.
Yeah, yeah.
A whole
Like
other
that,
level of a matter of fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like you don't know the kind of walls he's erecting. But yeah, this is a great movie. I think if you're still into physical media, I would definitely say wait for the bargain bin. But I don't say it because it's a bad film. I say it because this movie is very 50-50. Because there's a lot of people like us that enjoy these types of films, and there's a lot that don't. And the last half of the film kind of goes overboard. But I feel
But you
like
knew it
it's,
was.
but I
Yeah.
feel like, but
Like,
it's a slow, yeah. But
it
I
is
feel
a
like it's
slow
a slow
burn.
drip. Yeah, it's a slow drip, and I think that by the time those scenes happen, you're not as off put by it because you've been on this journey for the past 45 minutes that has swelled up to this crescendo of like, man, like this dude has lost his fucking shit.
Yeah.
He's
And-
reading Sutter Kane, dude.
Oh God!
saying?
No,
Dude,
he's
my
went that
grandfather,
far.
he didn't get up and leave. I expected him to get up after an hour, and he was like, "How much is left?" And I'm like, "Another hour." And he's like, because he knew he had to know.
Yeah,
Had to know how it's going. Is the guy going to get out? And he's like, something's going to happen at the end. And I was like, maybe. I don't know.
And I think that's the beauty of this film, is
So
that
it will
starts
hook you.
with it's
And
such
it was his
a
acting.
simple. Yeah, it was such a simple setup too. All right, you got an art thief. Okay, he's stealing art. All right, shit goes south. Okay. Oh man, his fucking support severs comms with him. Okay.
Yeah, you're on your own.
All right. Now he's fucking trapped.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's like, oh yeah, there's still an hour and 15 minutes of movie. Like,
Yeah. But the rat never gave up, dude. He chewed his own leg off to get out of that
Yeah.
motherfucker. Like, but even he was like his acting, and he never like comments on shit like that.
Yeah,
But he was like, it was believable. Like he was. And I was like, yeah, he's a good actor. You know,
yeah.
like really good.
Willem Dafoe. You should let him watch The Lighthouse.
what's crazy is this almost takes the survival movie and inverts itself.
Yeah.
Because, like, he's doing all these survival tactics to an extent that you would normally see in, like, a wilderness movie. Like, dude crashes his plane and he's in Alaska and he's got to survive till help arrives or till he can reach civilization or some shit like that. That's this same movie, except this all takes place in a fucking penthouse.
Yeah.
Like, there was a lot of good, like, damn good writing.
Yeah. But The Mandalorian, though. I
Ma-
mean, they keep figuring out ways to top themselves over here, man. Jesus Christ.
Pav fucking Vizsla is the fucking man.
Yeah, yeah. He straight fucked on them dudes, right? Like,
Dude, he went full cannon.
yeah. Yeah,
The
legit,
murder
right?
train did come.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, right. He did, man.
This is the way.
Yeah, God. Okay. So 2 things. I want to go ahead and get these theory things out of the way, I guess. So 2 things that one of them I noticed, and one of them I noticed and got reaffirmed that I wasn't the only one that saw it, and then the other one is just full blown, just some shit I found up on the internet. So the thing that I noticed is that when they're leaving Navarro and they're taking the fleet to Mandalore,
Mm.
I think some ships hang back. And I wonder if they're going to put the APB out for Boba Fett and whatever connections he might have.
Right.
Number 2, someone posited that the armorer is
Dude,
the bad guy.
Something's up with her. She's been acting
Yeah.
sketchy.
Yeah.
There's
Well,
something up with her. I don't know. Like,
Cor-
there's a reason why they're showing her in these scenes. And
Yeah. Corey brought that up Sunday night because I watched it Sunday and we were talking about it Sunday night. And he said, I think the armorer is a spy. And I said, well, why? This was my biggest thing with her. This was really the turning point. Why was she the one? Because they were looking for the forge, right? On Mandalore. And she's the armor. Why was she the one that had to take the injured soldiers or the injured Mandalorians back to the ship?
Yeah, she
Yeah.
noped out really quick.
but what's she going to go
Yeah.
back and tell them?
Exactly.
Because there's no communication.
Yeah. So That was my, and then another thing too is like not only did she dip out, but also the dude dipped out as well. Which dude covered him like he was like, "There's an escape route in the ceiling. You can fly through the ceiling." Blah 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 blah. But I don't think that there's just a singular spy with this whole Mandalorian thing. I think that there's a couple of spies that are associated with it, but they don't know about each other.
Well, what I do know is that apparently at some point in Rebels, I haven't watched any of it other than maybe the first, like not enough to get to these plot points,
hmm
but it deals with the Death Watch, a
Yes.
group of Mandalorians. And the Death Watch, if we remember correctly, the Death Watch are the ones that find our boy Din.
Yeah.
Like that's what they call him, a child of the Watch, in one of the earlier seasons. And so like that's his link to Darth Maul, I think,
Yeah.
because Darth Maul at one point controlled Mandalore and had that saber and all that shit.
Right. Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. And then like, okay, they got Mando. Like, what are they going to be doing there? And is Grogu going to send an APB out through the Force? And are other people going to show up to help in that way?
Oh,
Like,
dude, like
like do you
Ahsoka and Luke show up.
that? I mean, like, why not? And here's the thing: like, if if everything that Filoni and Favreau's doing is going to culminate to a movie, then that movie has to end with Darth Maul and Ahsoka, right? Like,
Possibly, or no, Thrawn in Ahsoka.
well, I think
Darth
that
Maul
like,
might show up.
well,
That's-
I think Thrawn. I don't know a lot about the character and everything, but like, I feel like that there's going to be two villains, just like in a lot
Well,
of Star Wars, there's two villains.
and I don't know if y'all noticed this too, and I like that they did this. They kind of started planting the seeds to pivot away from Thrawn
Yeah,
whenever they had that council meeting.
Yeah, with the
And
Shadow Council.
And Gideon was like, you know, I'm putting
I'm gonna
together
need some
results.
weapons.
Yeah,
yeah,
I'm putting together results. I'm the only motherfucker here dressed
Yeah.
like Vader. Why aren't you following me? You know,
Have you
Yeah.
seen my armor?
yeah. It's better than
Which
yours,
is-
Edge.
Upgrade.
which that shit was badass.
Yeah. So it leads me to believe that like I think that Thrawn is going to be like a major part of her series, but is he going to be the be all end all bad guy? Is there someone backing him that we don't know about other than because they obviously hinted towards Hux was there and the clone thing and all that stuff with Palpatine and all that was happening. Like they kind of reaffirmed that, right?
So what if Gideon is actually answering to Snoke?
Well, what here's the thing, like what if the idea of having Snoke there was a um reaction to the fact that it wasn't supposed to be that person all the time and it was supposed to be Maul, but Maul died.
Yeah,
Like that's kind of how I'm looking at it because like we got we got a showing of him in Han Solo, you know, there's he was
oh, there
very
was
much
the seeds. Dave Filoni has done his damnedest in the Star Wars universe
yeah,
to keep Thrawn, not Thrawn, but to keep Maul from just being a one-off Episode 1 character. He has
yeah,
succeeded in that, and he has it seems that he has fought like hell. And apparently, Lucas, in one of the original drafts, I think I don't know if I brought this up. I probably have, but in his, to keep it quick, in his original planned sequel trilogy, Maul was gonna be supposedly one of the big bads, if
yeah,
not the big bad of that trilogy.
right. And Filoni and Favreau they've basically taken Lucas's vision and kind of reworked it into what they're doing, more or less,
Yeah,
right?
Well, like
So
they're taking Lucas's sequel trilogy, which would have came right after Return of the Jedi.
yeah.
And at the end of the day, it makes me not feel as critical of Disney as I have been.
Hmm.
Because when you look at the larger picture now, what Disney did is they went so far out into the future that it left this gap between
Yes.
Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. And that is the era where, or years or whatever, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like close to it's close to a 40-year gap between Jedi and Force Awakens.
Yeah.
Let's see, what does the time gap
I
be?
thought it was like 25 or 30 years or something like that. It
I
may be
think
40.
you're. I think you're right, Griffin. That sounds. That's ringing a bell. Uh,
But
oh,
that they're doing everything that they can to kind of build up to something, and it's like what would be better? And they could still do it to where, like, you know, Darth Maul be the big bad, and that's why Snoke happened. That's why, because, like, think about it this way: they're doing their cloning thing that falls directly in line with Palpatine. They were trying to get Grogu's blood for the cloning process, and myself was like, well, they're going to try to clone Grogu because he's a Force user, right? What if they're trying to get his blood, his midichlorians, as the way to allow Palpatine to be more successful with these cloning processes? And they can't just pull any Force user's blood. Like, how are they going to get close enough to any of the people that we know are Force sensitive
Yeah.
to be able to extract blood, like DNA from them? But Grogu, a child, a
Yeah.
baby, that's something manageable, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So it's feeding like almost perfectly back into this whole
so
uh,
yeah,
sequel
so yeah,
trilogy.
so yeah, you are right, Griffin. It between 6 and 7 on this website, according to Quora, it's saying there's 30 years. So
Right.
yeah, give or take about because Mando takes place 5 years after that, after Jedi.
Yeah.
So yeah, about 25 years before the events of Force Awakens happens,
Yeah.
and usually there's as big as a 10-year gap between some films.
Yeah.
So it's like imagine it's one big like like Lucas's ideas are still being made and done, and they're
Yeah.
getting plugged in between 7 and 8, or yeah, between 6 and 7.
Yeah.
So his vision is still somewhat getting fulfilled. It's
Yeah.
just people are not liking what's already they've already gave us what's coming after. So now they're going to fill in and give us, and it also would explain a lot as to why we would be like, hey man, they've come out and said, hey, we're trying to move away from the Skywalker saga. Well, theoretically, the Skywalker saga is not done yet
Yeah.
because there's still a whole chunk of story that's got to get told for
Yeah.
consistency at least. And a lot of people roll their eyes and think it's just them tuck and turn because of the reception of the sequel trilogy, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but I still to this day, just because if you notice now more people are referencing it. We even got a reference in last week's episode of Mandalorian, the fucking the people that did Pav Vizsla in, those red guards. Those are the same type of trooper that was guarding Snoke in Last Jedi.
Yeah.
And I still feel like give it 10, 15 years from now, Last Jedi is going to be an underrated cult movie in all the Star Wars films
Yeah. I
because of
agree.
how different it was.
Yeah.
And I think once we get more context as to what would make Luke have that demeanor in that movie,
Yeah.
like why he would resort to go, because the big argument with him is no, he wouldn't have pulled his saber out and contemplated killing his best friend's child.
Hmm.
But we don't have any context other than he just felt right now, other than he felt a disturbance in the force. Well, what
Yeah.
the fuck did we see? What the
Yeah,
fuck
right.
happened before that? Like the Mandalorian and all that other stuff has opened up a whole avenue of us to get more insight into Luke's somewhat fall from being the I'm a Jedi like my father. And I know a lot of people probably don't want to gravitate to the fact that, you know what, when you get old, sometimes you get a little jaded.
Yeah.
Well,
Jaded.
well, how about this? Look, Yoda was a is a prime example. Think
Yeah.
of him in the prequels and in the like how and in contrast to the sequel or the original trilogy.
You
In
mean
the prequels,
Crota?
he's 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 optimistic, he's stoic, very chilled. He's like the Force is whatever, but he was still blinded by Palpatine. He was still
Yeah.
susceptible. And even to the point where when we go to the original trilogy and Luke meets him on Dagobah, Yoda's just a straight up dick to him.
And he's crazy. Crota.
Like
Crazy
he's
Yoda.
well, yeah, because like because
Crota.
if you because because if you remember, he's even like, you know, like Luke tells him something. He's like, "You got to train me to be a Jedi." This blah 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 blah, and Yoda kind of muffles to himself. He's like, "Shit, I'll pick when I want to train, motherfucker."
Yeah. Because I'm
Like
Crota.
so.
It's good. Last episode is
I think
like
that was it, right?
tomorrow. There's one more, right?
Is
I
there?
think there's 8. Yeah, I
Yeah,
think there's. Yeah.
I think that
we have
wasn't that 8?
no man.
No, that
Oh,
was
I was
7.
like, man, they're gonna hang us like this.
Nah, dude. We'll get some
Doo-doo,
resolution,
doo-doo-doo.
but not a lot.
There
Yeah.
were
I
some
mean, we got to mention the
weren't
mech suit, right?
dude.
Oh,
Yes,
dude.
yes,
Yes.
yes, yes.
Wasn't
Now he can
there?
kind of talk, dude. When he stopped him from fighting,
Yeah.
I was like, "It's my little dog right there."
Here's dude. Here's my speculation. I wonder if whenever this is all said and done, and Din and Grogu go back to Navarro, if the mechanic there that fixed up his ship, if she's able to patch in some Stephen Hawking shit for Yoda, so he can actually make simple
You can give
sentences.
him
You know
more
what I mean?
buttons.
Give him a
Yeah.
keypad,
Start calling him buttons.
Come on,
Fuck
bud.
you.
No,
You.
but think about if we don't get a James Gunn styled Rocket Raccoon Groot shootout with Mando and Grogu back to back, fucking shit up in that mech, and him using a blaster, that's gonna be a missed opportunity.
I know, right?
And
Just straight clearing a house out.
I know Mando didn't like it, but he's definitely safer in it, and he can actually help.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right.
He doesn't like. We don't just get the all right. I guess I'll close my pod.
Yeah. Cool.
Which I always liked it because like it was a precursor for like yeah, Din's about to do something
Yeah.
badass.
Yeah. Hit him with a pod.
And you
But
know
yeah.
a lot of people have criticized it because of so much Bo-Katan,
I like it.
but I think I don't have a problem with it coming out of the Clone Wars, but at the same time, like once again, I think the title's misleading. I think the Mandalorian is Grogu,
Mm-hmm.
but I also feel like there's so many there's so much going on in the Star Wars universe now with all the different arcs and all the continuity that has to be upheld that how can you not have moments where yeah, main character of the show's kind of going to take a back seat for a minute.
Yeah.
I mean, think about and I mean, look at the prequel movies. You saw Anakin, but he wasn't in it like every goddamn scene.
Yeah.
And that whole trilogy arguably was about him.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Well, we got a little bit of movie news if y'all want to dip the toes into that. You want to get a little feet wet there. So this first article is something that I've kind of been purposefully avoiding because of we don't know the full story
Yeah.
as of yet, but a couple of months ago, Jonathan Majors was arrested for domestic violence charges. The representation for Jonathan Majors came out and said, "This is don't worry about." This was like right after Wasp, Ant-Man and Wasp, and they're like, "Look, he's innocent. Don't worry about it." And it kind of went dark from there. But we have an article here that says he was booted from multiple projects following assault charges. So Major's rise in Hollywood looks to be descending even more quickly with the news coming in that he's losing multiple movie roles. Up until recently, Majors was established as one of Hollywood's hottest stars of today, as this included lead roles in the films Creed 3 and Ant-Man and Wasp: Quantumania. That all changed in late March when it was revealed that Majors was arrested on charges of assault and harassment over an alleged skirmish with a woman he'd been dating. Through his legal team, Majors has insisted upon his innocence, arguing that a text message exchange proves as such, but as of now, the charges still stand. In any case, given the seriousness of the charges, Majors was dropped from the U.S. Army's Be All You Can Be ad campaign. It has also since been revealed that the Lovecraft Country Stars talent agency, a PR team, have both parted ways with Majors. Now, per Deadline, it's been reported that Majors has been dropped from the Protagonistic Pictures movie The Man in My Basement, as well as the Otis Redding biopic that was also in the works. Additionally, Majors has been cut loose from another ad campaign for the MLB's Texas Rangers baseball team. The Man in My Basement was set to be executive produced by Majors in addition to starring the actor. No information has yet been revealed about his replacement, but casting is said to be underway. With musician biopics in the rise in Hollywood, Majors was set to take part in that with a starring role as Otis Redding in Otis and Zelma, a film that made with the blessings of Redding's estate. In this case, Majors hadn't officially signed on for the part, though he was in consideration for the role up until his recent legal troubles. So, and then of course that there was he may be playing Dennis Rodman as well, and a couple other things like that. But the reason why I bring this up is because like he's still innocent until proven guilty.
See, that's
right?
the thing, man, and like his PR team jumping, because it's definitely a PR nightmare. But now the world we live in, like nobody wants to be tied to anything like that. They jump ship as soon as it's mentioned.
Yeah,
it's like, well, wait a minute, but I thought the person took back the statement they made.
Yeah, exactly.
But you know, people are like, you can't represent somebody like that. Canceled, big stamp, bam.
Yeah.
Hate that
and
for
what
him.
Sucks, yeah, and what sucks is that if he's proven innocent, because here's the thing, it doesn't matter about the argument, man. If it can be proved that he didn't lay his hands on her, you know, because that's the thing. Couples are gonna fight.
Sure.
Yeah.
And they're gonna fight in different degrees. Some couples quietly argue. Some of them, they fucking hash it out at full fucking death metal vocals.
Yeah, but they'll run that he's guilty until it's announced that he isn't, and they'll only run that for like a day.
Well, it sucks that clearly his name is Mud now.
Well, and like,
and it really sucks because as much as I was kind of critical of Lovecraft Country from time to time, like
he was amazing in it though.
His performance was really good, and I enjoyed his take on what little footage I've seen of him as Kang.
Yeah.
And well, hopefully we see that next week. So
yeah, right,
gentlemen.
It's crazy though, because like, didn't we just read several articles about an individual that like kidnapped an underage girl that was assaulting people in Hawaii, that was doing it, but they're not technically canceled.
No.
And their movie is still coming out.
Yeah, but someone that hasn't been proven guilty yet at all.
I do think
Also
that's
not a
bullshit.
they.
Well,
I
that's
think
true.
that they helps a little bit, right?
There's a safety
Seems
blanket
like it.
there.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
Well, I mean, if we're gonna touch that line, man, he technically would have the safety blanket of them all. Wouldn't think.
not
Mm,
versus they.
yeah. It's like rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Oh, you picked they. Fuck.
How sad is it that we live in a world where that conversation can be had, and it's
Yeah.
like, yeah, we know what you're talking about.
I'm sad because he's like a perfect pick for Otis Reddick.
Yeah, I
He
was thinking
kind of
that
looks like
too.
him, dude. And
yeah.
Dennis Rodman.
Yeah, right.
That Otis Reddick movie may not even get made now. Shit.
Well, yeah. And the thing is like anything that he's attached to other than Avengers stuff, because let's be honest with each other here. Avengers stuff and Marvel stuff is going to trump anything else he's got going on, right?
Yeah.
So already the stuff that he was going to be doing was either could technically be cut short, or they have to put a pause on it or whatever because of Marvel obligations.
Oh
So
yeah, the residuals he's gonna get from just playing Kang the one time is gonna be
That's like a
like he's not gonna
life-changing
go.
amount of money.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not gonna go hungry. Like
no, not at all. But like with all the other projects, like in reality, there's no way that they were going to jumpstart any of these projects anytime soon. So maybe like they
Yeah.
need to take a step back from everything for a second. Wait until this is done and over with, because like his PR team's dropping him. That's fine. Marvel hasn't came out and said anything. Disney hasn't came out and said anything as of yet, right?
I believe there was an art. It could be speculation, but I do believe Marvel is looking out for a replacement.
I saw something about that too.
Well,
like I
There's
said,
people
I
being
didn't.
shopped around. If it's you
Yeah,
know,
I
well,
didn't-
here's
I
the thing.
didn't-
Like you said, he's Kang. Different versions of him may look different.
Yeah.
It'll work.
Yeah.
But see, now you're guilty until you're proven innocent.
Right.
That's how it works.
Well, and that they may be able to weave that into the story until everything's said and done. Because like, I'm not saying that the guy did it. I'm not saying that the guy didn't do it. I don't know. But it sucks that we live in a world right now to where like, even if someone could go out and say, this dude from this movie podcast sent me an unsolicited dick pic, and we have to shut the podcast down.
Well, I mean, dude, you can even fake that. I can
Exactly.
put a number in my phone. I can make a Google number, label it your name,
Yeah.
and send text back and forth and have a whole conversation and say that was you.
Well, I mean, and I think the biggest highlight of it all is once again this weird double standard that exists in Hollywood that's applicable to that's become such a malleable thing that they can apply it to various circumstances.
Well, it feels like they want to apply it where they want to, and if someone's becoming successful, it seems like they're, you know what I'm saying?
Dude, he's only 33. You hate to
Yeah.
see that cut short. Like,
Exact. And dude, like he was in The Last Black Man in San Francisco, this
Yeah.
low budget movie, from several years ago. He's came from that.
yeah.
Oh, and dude, I bet you he's gonna nail it in Creed 3.
Oh yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
Like
he
I
looks
think
great.
I feel like I feel like he'll steal the show
Yeah. So
because like the role itself and what the trailer built his character up to do, it sounds like a scene stealing character, you know,
Yeah.
like
yeah. So we'll see what comes of that, but it sucks that like his PR team's dropping him, that these roles are kind of like escaping him and everything. But I think that everybody just needs to let due process work
Yeah.
itself out in this in all situations moving forward. It's not right when you have people kidnapping minors and beating the shit out of people in Hawaii. That's just like, well, he might be a high risk problem. It's
Yeah,
like,
just
what the
fucking
fuck?
random people up in public.
Yeah.
Like, that's
And then
but
yeah.
but I wonder though if at the end of the day if that movie is only being released to try to get a return on
Well,
investment.
they definitely have to get their money back. They've spent a shit ton on it. So,
Because
Yeah.
it does look like a expensive film.
Yeah.
well, see, that's where it happens. When it comes down to that dollar,
Yeah.
shit's different.
Yeah. And it's very convenient that all this came out right after Ant-Man and Wasp.
Yeah.
Right.
You know, like this could have
Because-
happened 6 months
because-
before that.
Because to add to the scene stealing thing, pretty sure his performance was the one that sold the movie.
Yeah, for sure. So, but anyway, enough about that. Aziz Ansari, he is going to unite Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen for a comedy, Good Fortune.
Wow.
So, actor and funny man Aziz Ansari now looks to be setting up the Lionsgate comedy Good Fortune as his directorial debut film. The news comes a year after Ansari's planned film Being Mortal was shut down in the midst of production in April of 2022. With no indication of that movie getting back on track anytime soon, Ansari has moved on to by teaming up with Lionsgate to write, direct, and star in Good Fortune. Per the wrap, he's also revealed that the film will star Keanu Reeves and Seth Rogen, two of today's biggest movie stars. Right now, there's no plot details that have been revealed, and very little else is known about Good Fortune beyond that it will star Ansari, Reeves, and Rogen. Ansari will serve as producer with Anthony Katagas and Alan Young, while Lionsgate will be handling overseas sales at the upcoming Cannes Film Festival. Release date hasn't been set, but early word is that the film is planned for a theatrical release. We have indeed found good fortune with this film. Lionsgate Joe Drake said in a statement, "We love the script and believe strongly in Aziz as both a performer and a director. And when you add in Seth and Keanu, two incredible world-class talents, top-lining alongside Aziz, this has the potential to be a very special film for us. We moved quickly to land this project once it was available." So yeah, I'm very excited to see what Aziz Ansari, Keanu Reeves, and Seth Rogen comedy is going to be like. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like,
Here's my thing. Did we ever go over an article that explained why his Being Mortal movie was shut down? Because even in April 22, that was still after whatever controversy he had.
it was because of Bill Murray. Inappropriate behavior. Remember when all that
Almost
stuff came up? Yeah.
Oh, he was going to direct that?
Yeah.
That's a detail I failed to remember. That's crazy.
It's been a
Okay,
while.
that
Lots
makes
happened.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm excited to see that. And I mean, whether it comes to theaters or if they stream it or whatever, I'm definitely going to be on the lookout for that, you know? Have to podlock it. All right, Stallone is back, baby. He's going to star in an action comedy set in a retirement home for spies. Never Too Old to Die. So Stallone will fill his age in Never Too Old to Die, a new project from Amazon Studios that will see the Rambo star as a retired secret agent living in a home. As per a report by Deadline, Never Too Old to Die comes as part of Stallone's recent first look deal with Amazon, with the studio now acquiring the script penned by Brian Otting. Described as an action comedy, Never Too Old to Die sounds like the perfect vehicle for Stallone at this stage in his career, with the movie finding Stallone as a retired spy. After a mysterious murder within a retirement home for spies, a Cold War hero embarks on a personal mission to find the assassin living among them. Could that possibly sound any more perfect? Now 76 years young, Never Too Old to Die will clearly be leaning into Stallone's age, play off the legacy of famous spy James Bond, and see the actor maintain his status as one of Hollywood's greatest action movie heroes. Never Too Old to Die will be produced by Stallone and Braden Aftergood for Balboa Productions and is the first project to come as part of the actor's deal with Amazon Studios. The deal will see Stallone direct, write, star in, and produce projects for Amazon. So, this is all I'm going to say. He did the Expendables, right?
Yeah.
He pulled like older action stars to be in it, right?
Mm-hmm.
This is the next logical step. You pull in Schwarzenegger,
Oh
you
yeah,
pull in Willis, you pull and dude, they don't even have to don't give them a script. Just let
yeah,
them be grumpy old men in a retirement home.
bitch.
Yes, exactly, and it will be
It
hilarious.
will
You
be.
know,
It got me thinking
like
like Bubba Hotep.
yeah,
Dude,
yeah,
You know what I'm
but
saying?
Bubba
Without
yeah,
the
Hope,
fucking ghost
I
and
didn't,
shit.
I didn't know whether y'all would be like, what are you talking about? But the minute retirement home and spies, I was like, Bubba Hotep with
Yeah,
Sylvester Stallone, dude.
yeah, yeah. And it's perfect. Like they could pull these little cameo, because the Expendables was like, of course, the story and all that stuff, but it was kind of like, hey, we all kind of came up together. We're all action movie stars. We're having a good time and everything. Like, if he can keep that
yeah.
and continue on with it with some people like Dolph Lundgren and just anybody that would be willing to just show up and play an old man in it, why not?
Well, like,
It would,
Schwarzenegger.
dude,
yeah,
how funny would it be? Because because if they're playing into his age, they give him a little bit of senility in an episode. He's, he's kind of forgetful or whatever, but he thinks he's on to whatever hunch he's got,
yeah.
and you see him fucking about to go into a room, try to get the reveal, and it's old man Dolph Lundgren tapping one of the fucking aides, man, just fucking giving it hell, and he's like, oh, he closes the fucking door, like, I mean, just any kind of thing like that, man, or like he just opens it and some old woman's pulling up her granny panties, and he's like,
Yeah,
sorry, ma'am, like,
yeah. This is one of those movies that writes itself. I
Yeah,
mean, it's
exactly.
just
Yeah,
get the set.
yeah. And the set doesn't have to be
Nah,
anything. The shittier it is, the better.
would have
Like
watched the World
really.
Series.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm excited about that. And like I said, I mean, my mind started running whenever I was like Sylvester Stallone, retirement home for
Yeah,
spies,
the,
Expendables.
I
You
hope
know,
the one thing I hope they stay true because I feel like it'll be more or less the backbone, but keep it in the whole thing where like everybody thinks he's crazy, he's in a retirement home, but he's right, and like and you see enough of
yeah.
what he sees that the audience knows he's right too. So you're just as pissed as he is whenever he gets frustrated over people not believing him and shit.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm excited about that. Green lazy.
Yeah.
All right, Quiet Place prequel, day one. A Quiet Place day one wraps filming. So filming on the upcoming horror prequel, Quiet Place Day One, has now wrapped, confirmed by director Michael Cernosky via Instagram. The filmmaker has offered an extensive look behind the scenes of A Quiet Place Day One, courtesy of several images of the cast and crew, which includes writer and producer John Krasinski and stars Lupita Nyong'o and Joseph Quinn. Check
Ooh.
out the images below. A Quiet Rap, filmmaker Michael Cernosky said in a caption alongside the behind the scenes footage. I can't properly express how much appreciation I feel for the incredible talents that came together to make this movie. I felt challenged and supported in ways I'll always cherish. Thank you all for coming on this journey. The plot details are a mystery, which I kind of have an idea of what it's about since it's prequel. Um, but yeah, I mean, this is going to be interesting. The other two Quiet Place flicks were good.
Pleasantly surprised.
Yeah,
Even
so
the
I'm
second
interested.
one. Didn't think the second one was going to hold up, but it was like, oh,
It was Cillian Murphy.
yeah,
But
That's
cool dude. Joseph
I
Quinn.
just I just
yeah,
hope I just hope, because I'm right there with y'all. I like the first one more than really all of them,
yeah,
or at least the second one so far. I hate to see a franchise go off the deep end with pointless sequels almost.
yeah,
Because one of the whole things that made it good was that you got a small idea of what happened, and that's
yeah,
enough to make your mind race, and is what kind of helped spike up the tension. Like, yeah, it
right,
made like why like you just had to go on the idea of like, okay, why are they walking on sand? Like, why
right,
are why they do the things that they have to do to survive in the movie? And when you're more or less just being pulled along by the arm instead of like, hey, here's specifically 100% what you know why, and this movie is going to fill a lot of that in, and I hope it's not detrimental and it ruins watching the first one in any capacity.
Well,
go ahead,
go
man.
ahead. No.
I got something completely different.
Oh, all I was going to say is like we saw like some of the day one stuff from the perspective of the characters from 1 and 2 already, right? And
Yeah.
I think the idea is like if it's going to focus on 2 new characters on day 1, I think that it'll be one of those not really anthological type deals, but it's like maybe we're focusing on 2 characters in a completely different place that whenever this first starts happening, as opposed to small town, rural, nowhere, middle of nowhere.
I guess I just don't want it to go the way of Tremors.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And the thing is like if they do it correctly, then this could be it and done. And I think it should just end with this.
That's what I was going to add to.
So
they're doing this one. This will be the day one, the prequel, March the 8th, 2024 is when this comes out. It is confirmed that John Krasinski will direct the third one. So I think that's kind of cool though, because you like, let's do a fucking backflash. Yeah. Flashback it. Backflash?
Backflash.
Let's go back, see all this. And then if you do a third one, you may be able to introduce those new characters that were introduced in the old one, And who knows if it'll get made.
Right.
But that's set to be released the year after.
Yeah.
But he's directing that one.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that'll get the green light. I mean, he brainchild the first one.
He's just kind of busy right now.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But, with Joseph Quinn and Lupita Nyong'o, like, I love both of those actors. So I'm very excited to see, like, their performance and everything. And I think it'll be fun. It'll be it doesn't have to live up to the first one, but if it does, then I'm good with it,
I believe wasn't it Djimon Hounsou that we lost earlier this month?
The
guy from Wick.
So.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. He's.
That's the same guy that plays one of the. He's the guy that rolls up on Peter Quill and is like, "Who are you?" when he's still in the Power Stone at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Apparently this is probably going to be one of his last films because he's in this prequel. Because he was in the second one, but
right. So speaking of Power Stone, there was a 45-minute scene of Thanos seeking the Power Stone that was cut from Avengers Infinity War. So Brolin's performance as Thanos, inarguably the most iconic antagonist in the MCU so far, elevated the character to a level seldom seen with other villains on the big screen. The threat he presented to the Avengers was terrifying and very real, and the apocalypse he brought with the snap of his fingers shook the franchise to its core. Infinity War immediately dialed the threat up to 11, and his ambush and genocide of the surviving Asgardians that Thor rescued aboard a ship from Hela's onslaught of their home world. At that point, Thanos already had the Power Stone set in his gauntlet, which he uses to torture Thor until his brother Loki gives up the Tesseract. However, we never saw how Thor initially, or how Thanos initially obtained that stone, and we can only assume that he decimated the world of Xandar to retrieve it. However, per a report from CBR, there apparently was a nearly 45-minute sequence cut from that film that showed exactly how it happened. It's hard to argue that the first scene of Avengers Infinity War was a perfectly chilling way to start the beginning of the end via the wrath of Thanos, the Mad Titan. Even the fact that we never saw on screen how he acquired the Power Stone, which was last seen on Xandar after the Guardians of the Galaxy stopped Ronan from getting it, didn't seem to bother audience as much, as he clearly showed how monumental of a threat he was to not only Thor and the people of Earth, but the universe as a whole. Nevertheless, that plot hole did exist, and in an interview with Near Mint Condition on YouTube, Thanos co-creator Jim Starlin revealed that there was actually an entire sequence, nearly an hour long, that was shot of how Thanos took the stone. About a month before the movie came out, I got an email or something from Joe Russo saying the 45 minutes of Thanos that we had at the beginning of Infinity War, we had it cut. There was a whole sequence of him getting the first gem, and they had to cut that out. They shot it, but they never wanted to spend the money on the effects, and they didn't want the movie to be as long as Endgame was. They didn't realize it was going to be quite the hit that it was. Whether such a sequence would have interfered too much with the pacing of the film or in fact would have fit in perfectly remains to be seen. Since it was never finished, it likely won't ever be seen in any kind of extended cut, but the fact that was on the docket is fascinating to think about. They need to take the time and spend the fucking money and release like a director's cut or an
10th
extended cut.
anniversary.
Yeah, something.
Disney upload. That'd be massive.
Dude, they could upload the 45-minute fucking scene directly to fucking Disney Plus, and I would not mind.
That's a chunk of movie.
Let's pump the brakes here. I agree with both of y'all just said. Griffin with yes, I would love to see the 45-minute journey of him getting the Power Stone. But on the other hand, I agree with Adam. That's a big chunk of movie. And the fact that we would have had 45 minutes of him getting the first stone and then 2 hours of getting the other 4, that would have been a pacing issue. That would have been very glaring, I think.
Well, here's my question, though. Like, this is just now coming out. Infinity War came out in 2018, right?
Something like that.
So, like, what if, because like we all assumed, because we talked about this, we all assumed that there may be something in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 that would show how the Power Stone was acquired. What if that's the plan? What if they're trying to drum up excitement for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 now by like, oh, if you go into it, you see a glimpse of like how Thanos got the Power Stone and what happened to those people, because there was a lot of people that we cared about there. Like Nova Corps was there and everything, right? So like there's a whole group of people there that we cared about. If they don't show that sequence or at least explain what happened, then how are they going to explain, like, how, you know what I mean? Like, how is that going to be a thing?
Well, the only thing that I feel like would have been really cool to have made into a 45-minute, concept, to get it started, or to at least as far as the pacing, I guess. Like, if you remember, the stones that he gets in the comic are from completely different characters than what he gets them from in the movie. They're like really generalized names, like the gardener. Like the only one that's true is like the collector.
Yeah.
But they're all the something in the Infinity Gauntlet book. It would have been cool if we would have had a sequence of him going and tracking all them people down. And him having just as much trouble finding the stones at first as Thor was having when we pick up with him in Ragnarok, where he's like, I went looking for stones, couldn't find any of them. Like, whatever. And have a thing where he could have went and basically tortured all those fucking people to find out where they really are now. And then when he does get the Power Stone, he's like, you know what? Those motherfuckers didn't lie to me. All right, let's roll. Like,
right. Well, 45 minutes or almost 45 minutes could absolutely be cut down until a more manageable 25 to 35 minute cut, right? So,
sure. But even if they put it in there, I'll watch it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the thing, man. It's one of those things where like maybe in the future we'll get it. I don't know.
Give him all the monologues.
Well, it'd be a good way to sell like a 10th anniversary.
Oh yeah.
It's like, oh, but you haven't seen this.
Yeah.
Or a whole other 45 minutes.
Or if you're just thinking in terms of money making and Disney viewer subscription, be like, have it be a Disney Plus, exclusive,
and then they sell it, make more money.
Exactly.
That's insane that they had up to 45 minutes of footage and dialogue cut for this.
Yeah. But All
It
right,
would have been
last up.
cool to. Sorry, I was just gonna cap it off with just. It would have just been cool to take a small journey with Thanos, even more
Yeah,
so than what we got.
yeah, I agree. I agree. All right, last up here, Tarantino on Death Proof Bombing, a shock to my confidence. So this is an article that came out a couple of days ago. So Tarantino is widely revered all across the world, generally considered by filmgoers to be among the best directors of all time. For all of his accolades, however, there have been a time when Tarantino began to question his abilities as a director. That came in 2007 with the film Death Proof, an action thriller written and directed by Tarantino. The movie was originally released as a part of a double feature called Grindhouse that also included Robert Rodriguez's movie Planet Terror. Both movies would later be given standalone releases as well. Unfortunately for Tarantino, Grindhouse fell short at theaters, winding up as a box office bomb. Together with Planet Terror, the movie had drawn 25 million, and the standalone release for Death Proof overseas only pulled another 30 million. This wasn't something Tarantino was used to, as his films had typically pulled in a much larger audience immediately upon release. In a new interview with Spain's uh, Diara, Tarantino reflects on how Death Proof bombing affected his confidence, while also noting how it led to an assumption in Hollywood that he may quit writing his own films. This is what he had to say. I've been lucky enough to write stories that have connected with many people, and this has allowed me to practice my art without the restrictions that most filmmakers have. Now, a funny thing happened. For a while, I was getting a lot of project proposals until the studios ended up assuming that I'd do my own stories and it wasn't worth the effort. But after Death Proof, which didn't go well at the box office and was a bit of a shock to my confidence, I started getting proposals again. While Tarantino admits that many offers he'd received were interesting, he wasn't ready to give up on himself just yet after Death Proof fizzled out. He focused on developing 2009's Inglourious Bastards, which would go on to earn 321 million in movie theaters. Tarantino was then back on track. They must have thought perhaps now he's touched and his temper has gone. His temper has gone down. Now is the time, and there's nothing wrong with making commission movies for Hollywood. They always offered me interesting projects, but I preferred to reinvest in myself and I made Inglorious Bastards. Here's
My,
the
my
thing.
my movie bombed, so I gave them a movie of a Jew bashing a Nazi's brains out.
Yeah. Well, but here's the thing though, man. Like the idea of like grindhouse films and all that
Yeah,
stuff.
I was gonna touch
The
on
way
that
it's
too.
marketed hurt it, man.
Yes.
You had to
The
sit
way
through
that it
both
was
movies, right? How long was that?
Yeah,
Two
It was like
movies.
Yeah,
5 hours.
So
I
how many
sat
people's
through.
gonna? Yeah, but you know what
So
I
I
mean.
went.
Like your
Yeah,
normal
that's a tough.
moviegoer's like, oh, two.
Yeah, that's a rough experience
That's what
for
hurt it.
someone that's not that doesn't get what that's trying. Like that doesn't get the reference
Yeah.
as an experience that it's trying to recreate.
Yeah.
And even going in knowing, hey, this is going to be long. Hey, all this stuff, that, and the other. When it was over with, I didn't want to sit in a movie theater for like a month,
For sure.
dude.
It's a long time.
Yeah.
Um,
And like what
and that's not to say that it wasn't badass, man. Like Grindhouse, if you were able to have went and experienced it with all the little quirky trailers and in between stuff and everything, I had a blast with it. Don't get me wrong, but like that, the modern audience is not jive with that kind of shit, man.
no. And the thing is like they should have what in my opinion what him and Rodriguez should have done was one of two things when it came to releasing this the way they wanted to release it. They should have had a traveling festival where they both carried it out on the road
Yeah.
and showed both the movies back to back and made a day event out of in various locations. They did the same thing with either Django or The Hateful Eight, where he was showing it in specific theaters
70
where
millimeter.
yes, exactly. So they should have either done it that way or he should have pushed to have it released like that in select drive-in theaters. That would have been a more appropriate place to do that. But you can't expect some average Joe to go
Yeah.
sit in a movie theater for 6 hours. I mean, even if a movie festival is
Well,
going on, there's a movie festival that happens every year an hour from here,
Yeah.
and I'm like, maybe that would be
And
fun. And then I really start thinking about it, and I'm like, do I
Mm-mm.
really want to sit in a movie theater with people
and
for 12 hours?
No.
now to also defend Tarantino, like one of the biggest problems that Grindhouse suffered from as a theater experience was the fact that Death Proof played second.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that, like
Oh
you
yeah,
got
because
like,
people would have been like, "Oh, here's his first normal movie ticket." Okay, but it made you wait for that one.
yeah,
We're gonna play this one because we have a film. You know, I'm not saying people would leave, but
Yeah.
people probably left
and
before his movie came on,
yeah, absolutely. And to be honest,
and you're burned
yeah,
out.
the theater, like the crowd, like because I remember it's one of those because it's the only kind of movie I've ever watched like that. That's the
Yeah.
longest I've ever sat in a movie theater. And I remember when I left, uh, the theater was a lot emptier than it was
Yeah.
beforehand.
Well, we don't have attention spans for that now.
And and the thing about it is that Planet Terror and Death Proof are two drastically different
sure.
movies, man. Like Planet Terror, it's a good old fashioned zombie movie with outrageous bangs, boom, pow, and whizzes, you know. Death Proof is a serial killer movie.
Yes.
Tried and true. And those movies have very drastic pacings because so when you're coming off the high of like, you know, an octane like killing the zombies, you know, that type of thing, to let's just have these really long, creepy dialogues with Kurt Russell.
Yeah, well, that was
Yeah.
the thing too. Was what Death Proof did was give us Kurt Russell in the Tarantino universe, like,
Yeah.
because that's the first time, right?
Yep.
They worked together. Then after that, it was like, oh shit, I got more roles for you, dude.
Yeah, right.
Dude, that scene, man, where he's like, "Don't worry, honey, this is the safest car if you're sitting where I'm sitting," and then he slams the
Yeah.
brakes, and her head just fucking cracks on the fucking dash, and then just proceeds to just destroy that bitch, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was, and I'm glad that he didn't give up on himself after that because we wouldn't have got the Hateful
Whoa.
Eight. We wouldn't have got Django and Glorious Bastards. Like,
Oh,
I'm
dude,
glad.
the first 10, 15 minutes of Inglorious Bastards made you forget he even made Death Proof.
Yeah. And I will, like, Death Proof to me is probably the most underappreciated Tarantino flick.
Well, I think it's because it's not marketed as like a solo
Yeah,
outing.
even more so
Yeah.
than Jackie Brown.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
Jackie Brown's absolute niche Tarantino, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
An already niche director. It's like it's a sub niche for him. Because
Yeah.
Jackie Brown is all about that dialogue, dude.
Yeah.
All about it. And just like it's one of those first movies I've seen where the movie is about just some people sitting around and talking for most of the damn movie, and it's those quick responses, like not reciting dialogue. They're
Oh, they
having
removed all the air.
yeah,
Yeah.
It's just quick.
yeah. Now, is it my favorite of his movies? Lord, no.
Dude, Samuel
But
Jackson in his sandals with his little man purse.
but I think I think if anyone is a Tarantino fan, I think you guys would agree because
Little
y'all are two of the
ponytail.
biggest ones I know. I think that if you don't watch Jackie Brown, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Oh yeah.
And I think you're robbing yourself of probably one of the coolest fucking handoff scenes in cinema history.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Where they're transporting that fucking briefcase and shit.
Yeah.
That shit was
dude,
good.
him being able to pull, like, Jackie Brown is something that I would absolutely want to do on the pod because, like, him being able to pull Pam Grier and some of these other, like, older actors and
Yeah.
actresses.
Oh, a
And,
total
like,
homage film, dude.
yes, but them being able to drop in the dude that was in that that El Camino movie. He was in the last couple of episodes of Breaking Bad, right?
Yeah, the guy that helped her.
Yes.
Yeah,
He stole the show
Killed it, dude.
in Jackie Brown.
killed it.
And yeah, dude. And it's just
I can't
anyway,
remember his
yes.
name, but he died not too long ago.
That's
I know.
yeah. But dude, the scene with Harvey
Robert
Keitel
Foster.
Sam Jackson, them sitting in that room just talking, having
Smoking
that
a joint.
that scene made me like I was like this was worth the watch.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is.
Wordsmith.
Just the acting in that scene was good.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. But yeah, like Death Proof, I've watched Death Proof not as much as like Reservoir Dogs or Pulp Fiction, but I've probably watched Death Proof more than Inglorious Bastards.
I mean, I've watched it a fair share of times too, man, because it's like what that movie is trying to pay homage to, it does it well.
Yes.
And it's one of them movies that, I've brought it up times before, like when you're younger and you have that, we all had our own little movie rituals with our families growing up. And this is one of those movies that'd be right up there with them. Like
Yeah.
simple plot, it doesn't get too heady.
Yeah.
You get to the point pretty quick.
Right.
And let's not forget that we got probably the most gruesome practical effects death I think ever in Death Proof, when that fucking car is peeling that woman's face off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whenever he hits it head on.
Because your boy don't use CGI, you know?
That shit was crazy. I was sitting there thinking, I was like, if anybody is sleepy at this point in the Grindhouse experience, like that should wake them up.
Yeah, right.
There, I think, if I remember correctly, at the end of Babylon, when he's watching that scene, the Space Odyssey scene where it's flipping through all the movies, I'm pretty sure it shows Jackie Brown on that moving floor.
Yeah,
going
I think
across
so.
There, it was one of the clips, dude.
Yeah, it's great. Well, I mean, we could do a whole nother Tarantino.
I know we've watched all. We try to do a watch. Like if I'll go back and look, and what we haven't seen, we need to throw those in sometime. Have we watched them all?
No, we did Reservoir Dogs, Pulp Fiction.
I'll go comb back and look
Django,
just to make sure.
Yeah.
We should call it. We should do a month of it, and we call it Sep Tarantino.
Yeah, and it's Welcome Back to Tarantino Tuesdays. Yeah, I'm here with Griff. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, we've watched Death Proof for the 45th time in the podcast existence.
He's about to end it, and it's like we need to go ahead and get caught up, and then watch that last one. We've done them all.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm for him directing. I think he will. I think he will direct other stuff. And it's like I didn't write it. He's a great director.
I'd like to see him do a show, like just a nice 8 to 10 episode limited run.
Well, like a True Detective type, dude, you know what I mean?
That would be
like a cop show. I think he's going to get into that territory, dude. He will stay away. So. That's a lot faster. You show up, somebody does all that work. You show up, you direct it. You don't even get to cut it, I think. But he'll be like,
Well, I mean, dude, what if he could bring? What if? Just hear me out. What if Quentin Tarantino somehow could revive Gunsmoke?
See, that's what I'm knowing he's going to do some kind of show like that, like a.
Because I think he can nail a Western.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, I mean that's one of the foundations for him. So, I feel like if he could do some sort of spaghetti Western style TV show.
Yeah.
You got just a badass town sheriff just fucking keeping it down.
You got your heavy, you got your black hat and your white hat, dude.
Yeah. Ready to roll. Heel turn.
We got some RDJ.
Some Robert Downey Juniors.
Yeah. I was reading a comment. I always do that. Real Estate was here, and somebody commented on that Daughter trailer. Real Estate was here, and he commented on it. He said, "So was Red."
Oh, okay.
I'm like, all right.
Red State?
I guess. But I'm ready.
Oh, I'm ready
for the trailer. You good? Ready, Trav?
Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Who's this guy?
I'm already sold.
I think Robert Downey Jr. plays like multiple people.
Are we watching the same trailer?
Sympathizer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's Robert Downey Jr. in the thumbnail. He's in it. I think he showed up yet. Oh, a little Vietnam. Here he is. I think he plays a few people. That was one. There he is again. Oh, he's a spy. That's why he looks. So it's a show. You know, the Americans.
Holy shit! Yeah.
Oh. It's kind of like the Americans, but Vietnam.
Yeah.
So that's why he's playing different people. He's a spy.
That's awesome.
He's a master disguisee. I don't know who this guy is, the new guy, but I like him. Gotta watch that.
So is he? So I want. So is Downey Jr. going to be the one that's like, look, you're going to do you for your country. I get it, but you're also going to give me information too.
Yeah, we'll work together here, or I'll out your ass.
Yeah, like they're. I don't know. That looks good though. I'm
gonna
check
watch
it.
Oh yeah.
Throw it on the pile, dude.
I'm so excited. I haven't watched this yet.
I haven't.
I'm so excited for this trailer. Dude. Jodie Foster.
This came out of the blue for me.
Yeah, finally. I think they filmed this in Alaska. They said it was so cold.
Yeah.
All right, let's roll it. Y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Full trailer.
All shivers are real.
That's what Dexter did.
It's not ominous at all.
What?
Are we returning to form, gentlemen? Yellow King, my guys.
He had all that time to work on it.
I'm calling it right now. It's season 1, but completely inverted. Instead of the hot bayous of Louisiana, it's the cold of Alaska. Instead of 2 cops that don't get along, 2 dude cops that don't get along,
2 chicks.
it's 2 chicks. Yeah.
Yeah, but they'll eventually work it out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I
Or
mean, I
one
don't
of
have a
them
problem
die.
with any of that, but I'm saying like they're giving us something new with something old, and I'm down.
I don't know when it comes out, but whenever it does, if we can drop it, I'm gonna be watching it as it drops.
Oh,
Yeah, same.
I'm there. Let's do it.
I don't sleep on True Detective.
Nah, dude, and like that last season of True Detective was like, to me, it was almost better than season 1.
And that's
Almost,
hard
you
to
know what I
beat.
mean? Yeah,
Very
dude.
hard.
And he's had time, man. He's let this stew for so long.
Time to write, flesh the story out, hear theories, and be like, "Ooh,
Yes,
I like that.
yeah.
I might use that a little
He
bit."
he clearly saw that people were up on that Yellow King shit.
Yeah. I feel like he's watched all those shows, like those cop shows that he just captures it so well.
Right, yeah. I'm so excited for that. I'm more excited for True Detective than I am Secret Invasion or any of the Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm ready. The Boogeyman.
All right, y'all ready? 3, 2, 1, play. Oh. We're going to start seeing shadows. That's Stephen King. Oh. It is, though. What's that up there? The fuck went under the bed? It's going to be something else.
Mhm.
Move. Oh.
Okay.
Polka Dot Man. Get out of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Remains to be seen. PG-13.
It's interesting enough that I want to check it out.
Well, so Stephen King?
Yeah.
Based on a book?
I noticed the Dark Tower reference there with the house
Producers
number.
I mean, you got the Stranger Thing guys doing some Stephen King.
Yeah.
The house number was 19. I was like, I see what you did there.
Yeah. Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Video unavailable.
I redropped it at the bottom.
Oh. Wonder why they did that. Okay, yeah. Damn. You see it, Travis, at the very bottom. I'm going to delete this one.
Okay.
I could have replaced the link, but
Bumpkus.
All right, I'm ready.
This is Pete Davidson, right?
Yeah. So which one do you have open, Trav? The one at the bottom?
The Continental.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it pulled up too here.
Okay.
Minute 5.
Yeah.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. This is the John Wick. Okay. You know where they all meet at the hotel?
Yeah.
They're already got a spinoff ready. So that dude that died's in this. Yep, he works there at some point.
Right. It's interesting that they're going back to the 70s.
Yeah,
though,
that's cool.
Yeah.
Well, they're building up for all these new characters. Dude, they got a list of like fucking 8 people they're going to make shit around. I like the remix of that.
Yeah.
Song. Let me drop my comment. I wonder why they made it. Last night it was public. All right.
Like,
So I'm not sure about all the spinoff shit, but I am excited for the movie.
You know, it's John Wick. Slap another character on it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Bupkis, though. All right. I don't normally fuck with Pete Davidson, but this kind of looks like this is his version of he's playing himself.
Okay.
So it's like Dave, but Pete Davidson.
Oh, okay.
And it's got fucking. Am I funny?
Joe Pesci?
What makes me funny? Yeah, it's him sitting at the table with him in the thumbnail.
Oh, God. Okay.
But I saw this and was like, okay, this does look kind of good. Looks funny. Let's check it out. All right.
Do it.
3, 2, 1, play. Right here. See what I mean by Dave?
Yeah.
Which is true. I kind of want to see it.
It looks interesting.
Yeah. Joe Pesci? Oh, right here. He Googled himself. Duck Dick Cowboy Boots?
Oh, my God. Okay.
Charlie Day? It's Dave,
So John
dude.
Hamm?
It is. Look at that.
I mean, dude,
it's like name dropping. Al Gore, Raymond, Mulaney. It don't look bad. It looks like Dave.
Yeah.
Like that style. Like that may be Pete Davidson's best role, just playing himself.
Yeah. It doesn't look bad.
Goofy looking butt eyes. Butt eyes?
Yeah. Butt eyes.
Dracula.
So is this that article we read a month ago?
Well, remember, we watched a teaser.
Yeah.
We saw a little bit of a teaser. Now we got a trailer.
Okay.
It's Dracula. Because we saw the teaser. It has the Onion Knight in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm down for this.
Yeah, people are saying that this is like a return to form for like Universal horror, dude.
Yeah. And we've been waiting. It's like, you said you were going to make all these monster movies.
Yeah, what the fuck, bro?
What happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Where you at? Where you at?
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Dracula.
Ooh, the trailer starts in hell. Onion Knight, right? Yeah, he's the captain.
Yeah.
Oh.
Perfect role for Homeboy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Is that Childish Gambino?
No, but it's
Okay.
he's in something. I gotta go look. He looks very familiar. Straight out of Compton.
Okay.
That's why I saw him, man. He did a. Oh. Don't kill the dog.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he was in Skull Island, the Elvis movie.
Okay, yeah.
Walking Dead. Did he say evil is afoot or aboard?
Aboard.
Man, you can't get off a boat either, right? Like,
No.
that's fucked. It's like, well, run. You can't. That was old Polka Dot Man.
Yeah.
It's him traveling to another country, too. He's going to be behind him. Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's just feeding a little bit. It's not turning them. But you see it? It's getting stronger. It's Gollum. You're precious. Gotta be on the pile, right?
Dude, it looks so good,
Yeah.
man. I might go to the theaters and watch it.
Oh.
Like,
Podlock.
holy shit, that looks good. Yeah, that looks amazing.
This looks good. It's gonna be good. Look who the top comment is. It's heavy spoilers.
Oh shit. It
Never
is
seen
so
that.
hot. Looks brilliant.
I'm gonna like it.
Absolutely brilliant. Yeah.
The penguin. All
I'm
right.
ready when y'all are.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play. This is his takeover, right?
Yeah.
Dude, it don't even look like him. That mask is crazy. Like,
Yeah.
the voice. I love it, like a mob boss.
It's more true to who the fucking penguin
Well,
is.
he's
man.
almost got like an
Yeah.
Al Capone kind of.
Yeah.
Oh,
Even
yeah,
with the
he's a-
scars, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, he's a full blown fucking
mob boss. Like,
yeah, dude.
that looks
That
great.
looks really good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes me excited. Like they were talking about doing a Clayface series too,
Oh.
right? Like
Dark like
could you-
that.
Yeah, could you fucking imagine, dude?
Serious?
Now, if they took the idea of the Arkham series or Gotham series and instead made these little spin-off limited series where we establish Batman's rogues gallery and then have him deal with them in the feature-length
Yeah.
films,
Build them
that's
up a little. That way you
that'd be a
can.
perfect plan.
Yep. They all get their backs because, dude, I would prefer them to have
Yeah.
a series. Give me fucking 8 episodes, 10, shit.
Well, that way when they do give us the movie where they're like, "Nah, we're keeping this villain for the movie."
Yeah.
When he shows up, you're like,
You don't feel
"Okay," and then
cheated when the
he says that first
Joker
line or
shows up.
two.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because, you know, it's going to happen.
yeah, you gotta have them hot moments.
Have y'all seen this? Did y'all know this was a thing?
I saw the trailer, but I haven't watched it because like I love the Muppets,
Yeah.
so I'm very excited
And it's
for
real.
this.
I made sure it was. I was like, is this real?
I mean, I love
I didn't
the
watch it all,
Muppets.
but I watched enough to know that it's real. Let's do it. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh shit.
So it's shot like a documentary.
This is pretty great.
Little joke for the grown-ups. Straight made like a Spinal Tap. He samples it. He just needs one. I recognize that kid.
Fucking Dead Mouse.
That guy right there. That's
That's
smart
that's
guy.
one of the Smiths.
He's a smart guy.
Oh yeah, it is.
He's all grown up. I guess that was
God.
Taylor Swift. Anders? Cheech and Chong? I mean, oh my God. Weird Al's God? Kevin Smith? Perfect. He's going to be like, perfect. Because he's Silent Bob. Love it.
It looks so good, dude. I can't wait.
Silly
man.
goose time.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait. I love the Muppets, man.
Oh yeah, dude. There'll always be a soft spot for them.
So the reason I pulled this trailer, I started watching it and I was like, oh, it's like a Tarantino trailer. It really is. This is a foreign film. It's a war movie. But see if y'all picked that up. The way it's shot, the music that's playing. It's like, oh, you just made a Tarantino trailer.
Gotcha.
All right. 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh shit.
See what I mean?
Yeah.
The music.
I love the color.
Yeah. Here it comes.
Oh, dude. Paint it black. The
Polka
Deutschland version.
Well, dude, it's the polka version, and it's what's his name, Tom Jones. He made those. I started watching it. I was like, it's like a Tarantino movie,
Yeah.
right? Like for real.
Yeah.
Even the guy with the half face here.
Well, like I was saying with the coloring here, like even the earth tones are
The way
popping.
it's shot,
Yeah.
the music, it looks like it might be good.
Yeah, I think we need to put that on the check it out because I do want to watch that, and I don't want to wait until February. You know, like
Where's the check it out? I got it. Definitely looks like that filmmaker grew up on him.
yeah. I love the way like they use that dark filter, but somehow still made those colors pop.
Yeah,
Like
a lot of light.
it, yeah, it's yeah. I do want to watch that. Like,
Did it seem did it feel like some of that was natural lighting?
They'll just crank up like the exposure on the camera,
yeah,
to get it to come through.
Yeah,
make it a little brighter.
They probably filmed it like that and then put like a filter or something over it. You know,
Mm.
try to dull it down a little bit or something. I don't know. What is this? The angry black girl and her monster?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an indie. We got two indie trailers. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Is she gonna Frankenstein the brother?
It looks like a Frankenstein. Interested? Where'd he go?
Get an RUN and OFT.
Mandy and Skidamarink. Some damn Jordan Peele shit.
If they keep the resurrected brother, less is more. That's gonna be awesome.
Yeah.
Nah, he ain't gonna be friendly.
No.
Yeah.
Doesn't look bad though.
Nah.
Well, here's my thing. I know we got a lot of like her pursuing and figuring out what's happened to her brother in the trailer. But I wonder if that's literally just like the last half of the movie. Because I feel like they're going to rev up the tension of her just slowly piecing his body together.
Yeah.
And I mean, because it seems like it's obviously a retelling of Shelley's Frankenstein.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
All right, peep this one.
Okay.
Y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
Mhm. Okay.
Little Freddy Krueger movie. Fan
Yeah.
made, by the way.
Okay. That's interesting.
Dude.
I wonder how they haven't been shut down yet.
Oh, I'll probably get shut out.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm waiting to read the article about that.
Just before it's
Fan film.
released.
Yeah. It'll get
Fangoria.
leaked. Mm-hmm.
Here we are. 4K
This
re-release, older trailer.
Okay.
This movie sounds like a move that like you do in Street Fighter.
Yeah, right.
All
But
right,
I'm
3, 2, 1, play.
Man, that's loud.
It is.
Yeah, this is what the
It's got to be 3 different movies.
Yeah.
Start with the action, the silly part, and then comes the love. In a minute, it'll be like, oh. What is this?
I don't know. The new movie.
Hand gesture
Oh.
the film.
Fall in love. Look. Sexy saxophone. Because the violence.
Violence, violence, violence.
Comedy again. I'm so glad I got a 4K re-release.
I know, right? That movie was released in 2004. It's
Yeah, it's
2 hours
old.
and 55 minutes long.
Whoa. That makes sense. It's like 3
2
movies
hours.
together, dude.
Yeah, 2 hours and 55 minutes. So,
Ant-Man.
yeah, let's do
We
it,
got
man.
a
I'm ready.
break in our thing. The movie list still stands, so it's Ant-Man 65 Shazam.
Yeah, boy.
But yeah. Checks in the mail.